Hey everyone, it's Stephanie, and today we're going to talk about fluid art, what it is, how to make it, how to make fluid art polish, and all that other good stuff. So, I found out recently that a lot of people in my community heard about fluid art first through me and have now started to experiment with it. And a lot of people have a lot of questions. So, I just wanted to make one nice place where everybody can come together and learn about fluid art. I love fluid art, so let me show you an example of what fluid art is. So I did this fluid art based off of this background that Danny and I use for our podcast, Two Lacquer Ladies. This is an asset that's from Canva, and I typed in fluid art. I think I typed in neon fluid art, and I found this like very early on in our podcasting, and it was perfect because it's colors that I love, all that jazz. So the other day, I decided to do this fluid art. I think it turned out beautiful. And the thing that you see in fluid art that is really special are these cells, these little bubbles kind of polish. So what is happening there basically is you take regular polish. I usually use a clear polish, and you mix it with something that kind of like stops the polishes from mixing and makes it so that they just kind of smoosh together and don't really create new colors. So, you're probably wondering what you mix with polish to make this happen. Well, personally, I mix Garnier Fructis Sleek and Shine Anti Frizz Serum, and this is by far the most popular thing that I see people mixing. I used to think that it was just the silicone in this that makes it special, that makes it stop the polishes from mixing. But I found out through some trial and error that that is not true. If you just put silicone in your polish, it is not going to do this. And this is kind of the perfect way to do it. So be sure to stay to the end of the video because I'm going to show you exactly how to make the polish mix that makes the fluid art. And you're going to probably need, this has dust on it, you're going to probably need a lot less of this than you think. And I have made a lot of fluid art polishes with way too much of this. So when you are making a fluid art polish, you're going to want to have like extra of the polish color you're mixing with it around. And that's one of the reasons I like doing this with a clear coat because it's hard to not be able to color match a clear coat. Clear coat's clear. It's just not that big of a deal. Anyway, so let me show you how I make fluid art. Okay, everybody. So let's start by talking about what we want to be seeing with our fluid art. So, what fluid art does is it creates these little cells. So, when you look at this one, this is the one we're going to be making today. It's a purple and gold and white. And you can see that it has these cells building up, these little like encapsulated bits of polish. So that's what happens when the polish isn't really able to mix with each other and make new colors. It like encapsulates upon itself. So I've got a lot of nicely sized cells in this, but sometimes you'll end up with a lot of little cells or even just some like fluidy bits. I think it all looks really, really cool. So I think that experimentation with your fluid art is absolutely key. Let me show you how I got this effect. All right, so we are starting with a fluid art polish. Now, this is a fluid art polish that I made with Orly Seal-On Top Coat. As you can see, it's still in the Seal-On Top Coat bottle, and I used just a drop of that Garnier Fructis hair serum in this. At the end of the video, I have footage of me making this polish, so please stay tuned for that, and I will tell you all how to make this polish. So you can make fluid art polish at home or you can buy it. Baroness X is the company that it is easy to get it from, and they have tons of different colors, but I prefer white because what I'm doing right now is I am building up this base of fluid art polish. And any polishes that I drop on top of it are going to also be one with the fluid art polish. So getting a clear polish means that you can do any color combination that you want to. It also means though that there's going to be like a clear backing, so you'll have some like quote holes in it. But as long as the base color that you used works with the rest of your polishes or is, hopefully one of the rest of your polishes, then you're not going to have a huge problem with that. All right, we're going to go in with a base of purple. So this is Orly's Crash the Party. And you really want to fill up a lot of space. There's going to be more colors going in, so it doesn't all have to be full of your first color. But we want to make sure all of these dots are touching. And sometimes I let the two dots of the same color touch, and I can even kind of see them not mixing within those dots. And that's pretty cool. All right, so we have our first layer done. The next layer I'm going to do is going to be Orly's Golden Record from their NASA collection. This is a nice fluid gold shimmer. I like it because it's not like a foil where its particles are kind of spread out in a base. They're almost like a flaky. It's really solid, if that makes sense. And it's nice and loose. Get a lot of those in there. And I'll probably go back with the purple at the end of this too, because that's like the main color I want to see come through. Up next, we'll be using Salon Perfect's Pillow Talk, and this is a milky white. I think just about all kinds of polish work with fluid art, but I do think I have better results with ones that are more, like I've said before, fluid. So if you're using a white, a milky white might work better for you than a white cream. What I love about Salon Perfect is that it is not a full Crelly. I don't consider Crellies to be milky whites. This is a regular white polish, but it's just not as chalky and not as opaque as a lot of other white polishes. And then I'm going to use a little more of that purple again, just to fill in some of the space. There we go. Make sure we've got enough space covered. There's a few different ways to kind of mix these colors together and get the fluid art effect. As you can see, it's already kind of doing some cells and things like that. But some people use like a scraper and they like scrape it really gently across the top. I've seen people use chains to do this and fan brushes, but here's how I like to do it. I like to make them kiss, as Linry says. I'm going to fold it this way and I'm going to smoosh. And I'm going to fold it this way and I'm going to smoosh. And then I'm going to shake it like a Polaroid picture. So I shake it and I kind of also let the colors flow together a bit, like holding it at an angle so that they can kind of move around. And then I just kind of like do what I can to agitate. So we're agitating the fluid art. All right, so let's close in and take a look at how our cells turned out. I think we got some pretty nice cells in here. We don't have any huge cells like we're on the other one, but I think that these cells turned out pretty great. And this is going to look beautiful on the nail. Even if you don't have huge cells, it should still look great on your nail. And especially since you're going to be taking your pictures of your nail, most likely very close to your nail and kind of blowing them up, it will still look fantastic on your Instagram. So now let's leave this for a few hours and then we'll come back and we will apply it. All right, everybody. So we are back. It's been about 4 hours, maybe a little bit more, since I made this decal. And so I have done my nails for this. So this, I just put it on when I made this and then I went out to dinner and stuff. So I am back now. This has top coat on it, obviously. And we are going to start applying. So the first thing we need to do to apply is take it off of the silicone. So because this has been sitting for about 4 hours, it's pretty easy to get it off the silicone. If you do it for less than 4 hours, sometimes I do about 45 minutes when I'm streaming, I actually tend to go at it with, like, a orange stick and just kinda, like, wedge it up like that, and that works pretty well, but this doesn't need that, it'll just peel right off. There you go. If you are doing more than one finger or two, I'm just going to be doing these two fingers in the middle. You probably want to do two of these at least. And then you can kind of choose the best areas to put on your nail. So let's choose some areas to put on my nail. Now, I just got the Holo Taco toolkit in their last sale. So I am going to be using some of their tools for this and seeing how they work. So let's see. We need to do my middle finger and my ring finger. So I think probably the best thing to do would kind of just be cut this down the middle and then go ahead and fit these to my nail. So my middle finger is the bigger one. So yeah, that should be good. And I'm going to try to cut it as close to the size of my nail that I can, while also still leaving a little bit of room for mistakes. You don't want to cut it too small. Although if you do cut it too small, you can always patch it either with just a little bit of the decal itself, or you could always just paint a little bit of paint where you missed, and chances are no one's going to even notice it. I'm just cutting it in the general shape of my nail bed. And then I'm going to take a clear coat. So you could use like Orly Bonder base coat, but today I think I'm going to use Glisten and Glow. I just want something a little bit cushiony. The last time I did this, I just used the Orly Ceylon top coat, which I have since turned into a polish, a fluid art polish, that is. Yeah, this is going to dry pretty fast, but it should be workable for long enough. So let's go ahead and throw that down onto my nail. Then we'll have a little bit of time to kind of smoosh it around and make sure we're getting what we want out of it. All right, we're going to press it down and then we can trim off the end. So a good way to do that is turn your finger over and just trim that off. And you might want to cut some like slits in the side so that it sits better. That's not necessary. You'll be able to kind of get it to blend in and melt in as you work with it, but sometimes I find that that's pretty helpful. All right, so I've trimmed most of the excess off, and we're just going to take a cuticle pusher and push the decal into the cuticles. I'm using right now, like I said, the Holo Taco cuticle pusher, and it does an okay job of like cutting the edges. In general, I would just use an orange stick, and it works really well as well. But the edges tend to be a little bit more like jagged, and that shouldn't be a huge problem, but if it's a problem for you, then yeah, definitely get a different kind of pusher. Just it's all about experimentation. It always is. Okay, we're going to press this in as much as we can. We also kind of want to get it wrapped around our finger. This is the place where the cuts will come most in handy. So yeah, I've ripped off a bit of the edge, which is why it's so important to have a base layer that you don't mind showing through, because that's just going to totally blend in. It's right here. I think I was off camera when I said that that was happening. And now to get the like ends to stick down to your nail, you're just going to want to go in with some acetone and kind of melt those ends. So melt them all in. And also just kind of go around with your finger or a tool, whatever works for you, and just kind of make sure that the decal is nice and pressed down. The more you can guide the decal to where you want it to be, the better your finish is going to be. So the better that you can get it to be stuck to your nail in the right shape. However, top coat really heals most wounds when it comes to this kind of nail art. So don't be too worried if it looks a little bit like weird on your nail before you go in with your final layer of top coat. It will be fine in the end. Okay, so now that it's on, we're going to take some acetone and we're going to clean up our edges. You can also do a little bit of like the edge of your nail too. Just of course, don't go too heavy on the acetone, like on the nail directly, because it's acetone. It'll eat the nail polish, and if you use too much, then it will eat all your nail polish. But it can help with these little lumps kind of form on the sides. Get in there, get it nice and cleaned up. All right, there we are. So both of these are done. And I have to say that the Holo Taco cuticle pusher that I used for cutting worked pretty well. I actually tried this a while back and I didn't really like how it worked, but this time I was a bit more patient with it. And I think it worked really, really nice. Now that I'm done putting on the decals, they still need some top coat. And if your decals are really bumpy or if you have experience with bumpy decals, you could always use a glitter grabbing top coat. Glitter grabbing top coat is not just for glitter. It's for any sort of nail art that has bumps that you would like to smooth out a little bit. But I think that mine are looking pretty good. So I'm just going to go in with my regular Glisten and Glow. It's Glisten and Glow all the way down today. And let's just fully encapsulate this look. Perfection. Always go over and clean up that extra top coat. Make sure you get all those sides in and wrap your tip if you can. And there it is, our final fluid art look. Hey everyone, editing Stephanie here. So this next part was filmed before I filmed all the other stuff. I did a first run at this video that I didn't really like. So that's why I have different nail color, and that's why my hands are so dirty with nail polish, and also why there's probably a lot of other stuff that doesn't quite make sense the rest of the video. Anyway, there you go. All right, and the last part of this video is going to be how to make your own fluid art polish with very easy things to get a hold of. So we're starting off with some Orly Seal-On Top Coat. So this is some janky top coat that Orly sent in their color pass, and I do occasionally see it for sale at TJ Maxx, but this could be any bottle of polish. This is 18 fluid ounces, so it's going to be a little more forgiving than a smaller bottle of top coat because, like I said, you only need a little tiny bit of this serum to get the desired result. And it's very easy to overdo it. So let us begin. I'm just going to drop the tiniest drop, just like just a little bit into here. And then we're going to shake it up. Of course, I have not really experienced any separation or settling in my fluid art polishes, but I still think it's a good idea to shake them up before you use them. So let's put some of this on the mat and see if we got the right ratio. I have a feeling I might need a little bit more, but you never know. And if I don't need more, then that really is going to show you how little of that serum that you need. And sorry that the camera is like freaking out. I'm going to use Golden Record by Orly. And I think I see them kind of settling at the top. So there is Golden Record. We also have Crash the Party by Orly. Oh, I see the cells. I already see the cells. Perfect. Okay, I have a good feeling about this. And then again, we're going to use Pillow Talk by Salon Perfect. White's a great color to use when you're doing fluid art. I think it really adds some dimension. All right, and yeah, let's do that. Do that. And there we go. I am seeing such beautiful cells. This is gorgeous. This is a gorgeous combo. I was going to add a little bit of blue to this, but I decided not to. And God, look at the cells we're getting from this. From that tiny, tiny, tiny little squirt of Garnier Fructis, a tiny squirt into an 18 milliliter bottle. So like, I do have to remind you again, if you're doing this at home, get yourself some extra polish because if you go overboard, you're going to need to add it because there's no taking it back. There's no taking it back. You can only add. So you're going to want to dilute if you add too much. Look, I'm honestly like, I have surprised myself with this one. It's so beautiful. Wow. I've got to do this as like a real mani. And now you can see how that gold shimmer reacts. I love a metallic in a fluid art. Again, it adds dimension. So this is like a classic, beautiful fluid art to me with the shimmer and then the white and then the color. And you can add as many colors as you want. Obviously, after a while, it's going to get like a little bit old, but you can add as many colors as you want to this, and it's just going to look gorgeous. So yeah, that is how you do it. All right, and there you have it. That is how to do fluid art. This video was a bit annoying to film because there were so many parts to do, but I'm very excited to see how it comes together, and I am so excited to see your fluid arts. If you have any advice on making fluid art polish or doing fluid art or how you do it or anything like that, please let me know in the comments. Also, another thing I would love to hear are color combo ideas for fluid arts because I'm always looking for those. I love different color combinations, and I just want to hear what you think would be great polishes to fluid art together. Anyway, if you had a really great time today, then please hit that like button. If you are new here and you're not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. You can catch me on Twitch. You can catch me on Instagram. I have a podcast called Two Lacquered Ladies that's here on YouTube and everywhere else. And you can join the Discord if you're nasty. Have an amazing day. Be excellent to yourself. Be excellent to others. And I will catch you on the flip side. Bye-bye.